There was an excellent piece at PJ Media by Matt Margolis today. And I covered some of this, but actually he was very thorough. The top 5 ways Obama attacked the free press. Now, if we're going to talk about a free press under attack, then let's talk about a free press under attack. And he points out, while media was generally very positive toward Obama, he wasn't willing to risk losing control in an interview while he was running for re-election, should a journalist actually try to ask a tough question. So to solve this problem, Obama went to local media outlets to do interviews. Now, why does this matter? Well, the reason's control. National media outlets would not be so open to ground rules for interviews, but local media outlets were another story. Local news stations don't often get the opportunity to interview the President of the United States, and they're far more willing to agree to ground rules, such as establishing what topics could be discussed or what questions could be asked. Obama was clearly more comfortable when he could dictate the terms of an interview. And by August 2012, Obama had done 58 local media interviews, but only 8 national media interviews, even though the national media was with him. What else? The Constitution protects freedom of the press because a free press is a check on the power of our elected leaders. Obama didn't want this check, not on his watch, and made many efforts to rein it in. Early in his second term, Obama's, remember this, FCC proposed a new program that would have put FCC agents in media newsrooms, quote, to determine how stories were selected, whether there was bias in reporting, and whether critical information needs were being met. I'm quoting, these monitors would be placed not only in broadcast newsrooms, but also print media outlets that the FCC had no regulatory authority over. Because the FCC controls licensing of broadcast media, these monitors would have been effective intimidation tools, a constant reminder to the media that if the government didn't like what you were saying, your license to broadcast could be revoked. Now, who knows what would have happened had it not been for FCC Commissioner Ajit Pai, now chairman under Trump, who exposed the existence of the proposed program in 2014, causing outrage, including by me, on this program. So there had to be scrapped. Now that was fascistic. Did the media go nuts over that? No. Did the usual professors go nuts over that? No. Were the usual Democrats in Congress in front of the microphones and the Klieg lights complaining about our fascistic president? No. What else did Obama do? Well, after trying to blame Republicans for so-called sequestration budget cuts, Obama was less than thrilled when Bob Woodward wrote a book, The Price of Politics. And in an early 2013 opinion piece in the Washington Post that automatic spending cuts had been actually proposed by the White House and personally approved and signed into law by Obama. Less than a week after the piece ran, Woodward revealed that a senior White House official warned him he would regret calling Obama out for his role in the sequester. After Woodward revealed his experience, other journalists came forward with similar stories. Ron Fournier, the former editor-in-chief of the National Journal, said of the Obama administration, quote, I received several emails and telephone calls from this White House official filled with vulgarity, abusive language, and virtually the same phrase that Woodward called a veiled threat. Lanny Davis, Bill Clinton's longtime advisor and now lawyer to Michael Cohen, also came forward with claims he had received similar threats for unflattering pieces he wrote about Obama in the Washington Times. Liberal journalist Jonathan Alter said he'd been subjected to abusive treatment from the Obama administration for writing something they didn't like. There's a kind of threatening tone that from time to time, not all the time, comes out of these guys, he said. A young female reporter was called crude names in an email for merely asking important questions of an Obama cabinet secretary. What about this, Chuck Todd? I want to ask you about this, but you won't come on my program. Must be too busy. Spying on the media. If threatening journalists for asking tough questions and writing unflattering articles isn't bad enough, all I can say is it gets worse. The Obama administration actually spied on the media. Oh, yeah. Less than 6 months into Obama's second term, we learned that his Justice Department secretly obtained 2 months of phone records of AP reporters and editors, What was the Obama administration after? They wouldn't say. But Gary Pruitt, the president and CEO of the Associated Press, had an idea. Quote, these records potentially reveal communications with confidential sources across all of the news-gathering activities undertaken by the Associated Press during a 2-month period, provide a roadmap to AP's news-gathering operations, and disclose information about AP's activities and operations that the government has no conceivable right to know. Wow. Also, the Justice Department secretly obtained then Fox News reporter James Rosen's phone records, tracked his movements, and read his emails while investigating possible leaks of classified information to Rosen from an article on North Korea's nuclear program. One consequence of this Obama administration spying was that longtime sources stopped talking to the AP and other news organizations. What else? That's not all? For all of Donald Trump's mean words and use of the term fake news or enemy of the people, I think we can all agree that such things aren't nearly as bad as threatening and spying on journalists, right? Do you still think Barack Obama was an advocate of the free press? What if I told you he actually tried to put journalists in jail for doing their jobs? The aforementioned James Rosen, who was subjected to Obama administration spying, was also threatened with jail time when the Obama Justice Department labeled him a co-conspirator with one of his sources, who was charged with violating the Espionage Act of 1917 for leaking the information to Rosen. Another journalist, James Risen of the New York Times, who we talked about before, was similarly treated as a co-conspirator with a government source indicted by the Obama administration under the Espionage Act. Risen was subpoenaed and originally compelled to testify against one of his sources. The Obama administration used the Espionage Act 6 times in 8 years to go after government sources, more than double the number of all previous administrations combined. Risen of the New York Times would later describe the Obama administration as the greatest enemy of the press freedom in a generation. Leonard Downey Jr., the former executive director of the Washington Post, said, the administration's war on leaks and other efforts to control information are the most aggressive I've seen since the Nixon administration. These are the facts. These are the facts. While they're trashing the current president. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.